Okay, so today, everyone, we're going to be quickly converting a portion of our building from what it looks like now to a precast building. And what do I mean? Well, don't stress out because this isn't going to be something that's extremely complicated. We should be able to do this fairly quickly. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to go into my 3D, not my 3D view, but my first floor view, and I'm going to convert some walls because it's not uncommon a lot of times for them to build a portion of a building out of one type of building and then maybe to use precast for another portion. And we're really doing it just to give you guys some exposure to precast. That's the whole point here. I'm not necessarily a big proponent of precast. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad way to build a building, but it's not, in my personal experience, um, we'll use precast slabs like for this floor, the hollow core slabs. I think we're going to try and convert this to double T's though, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. But it's sometimes easier if there's a smaller portion of the building that you don't necessarily want to build with the other part, or maybe there's a different idea of how it's going to be used later. You can kind of use a precast system to do that. So the first part that we're going to do is going to be real simple. It's going to be the walls themselves. And so what I'm going to do is click on this wall here, click on and hold down control, click on this wall and click on this wall here, right? And I'm going to go into my wall types and I'm simply going to convert these uh, to um, uh, to precast walls. And, well, not precast walls, but I'm going to convert them to let's do this 12-inch foundation, right? And when I convert them to that, they're going to change over, right? And when I go to the 3D view, I can see how they changed over. But I'm also going to edit the type of this wall, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call it precast 12-inch concrete. Okay. And once I click that, see, we've got this precast wall, right? Now, there's a lot of different ways we could make this precast look. We're not going to worry too terribly much about it now. We'll probably come back and play with that a little bit later. The last thing I'm going to do is go back to my first floor. And while I'm in here, I want to recognize that this precast wall, right? I definitely want to right click here and disallow the join, right? And now that that join is disallowed, I can pull it back to there because that's where that would be, right? And then I can do the same thing here. I can come in here and click and right click here and say disallow join. And then I can drag this back to here, right? And so now that wall is there. Now, a few of the things that we need to work on sometimes with this area like this is I'm going to need some beams and columns in here that are going to help me with something. I'm going to go to a south elevation to figure out something. You see, I've got this second floor at 12'6". I'm going to need another datum in here for um, uh, the tops of some columns and beams that I'm going to place. So in this receiving area and in this this cafe area and the lobby entry, we're going to have a different kind of structure. So I'm going to go in here and get another level datum. And I'm going to place it, I'm just going to place it right here right now. And it's saying it's level 9. Actually, it's going to be uh, precast. Precast. Um, I don't know if I want to call this the precast roof. I'm going to call this precast. Um, I'm just going to call this the precast datum right now. Okay. Yes, and I'm just going to put this at 10 feet. Okay. All right, and so I'm going to hit that right there and kind of pull this out All right. And what this is going to serve as is the datum for the top of that receiving area. You can see it's right now, this is at 12 foot, this is at 12 foot 6. We're going to be changing this in a few minutes. This is actually going to go a little higher, but for right now, I just want to establish a datum in there. But you know what? Let me go ahead and just do that. Let me just put this as 14 foot right now. All right. And at 14 feet, you'll see why we're putting this in there, because we're going to raise the walls to that. That's the first thing we're going to do. So if we go back to the first floor and I hover here and I hit the tab key and click, you see how it grabs those walls? I'm going to connect them to that precast datum, right? And now you're going to see in the south elevation how now we've got the top of our wall in there. We're going to have we're going to put a top in here as well, and we're going to adjust that top based on how we have that wall set up. So I'm going to go ahead and save this video. I'm going to let you guys get started on that first part, and then we're going to add in our columns and the beams that we're going to need for the precast section of our building. All right.